This conference will now be recorded.
So when I was writing this class, I was all over the place. Dealing with the buyer. Oh, yeah, there's that.
You got to stay in front of the microphone.
Okay, yeah. Somebody just, just kind of give me some signals if I'm not, I don't think I'm on the, okay, so I'm not in front of the camera, but I need to stay near the microphone, right? Okay. So when I was writing this class, I was kind of all over the place. There's a lot when you're dealing with sellers. I feel like buyers, it all happens towards the end. With sellers, it's kind of all on the front end. And so this is going to be kind of a preview of other classes that I want to do. So I started with clowns because that scares me. And I would really appreciate if you have any questions, go ahead and ask questions. I'll be honest, I was thinking that this was only an hour and that I actually condensed my stuff to maybe last an hour. And nope, it's not, it's 2 hours. So we have times for questions and that's awesome. I don't feel like I have to be rushed, but if you do have any questions or anything that you would like to add to, if you know something that I don't know, feel free to interject, raise your hand, whatever. Ready, set, go. That's a question. It's just a little bit in the beginning. Do you have your business cards? Everybody's got their business cards. Everybody's good. What about marketing information about you? Frank has always suggested that we have like a little trifold or a presentation sheet that tells a little bit about us. He is a big fan of the letter from the heart. It's good to have something when you're door knocking. If you run into somebody in the grocery store besides just a business card, there's a lot of good ways to use that type of marketing material. Have you set up a social media page on Facebook? Have you connected to HAR? You can go into HAR, your profile, and you can put your Facebook page website in there, your LinkedIn, your, what else is there, Twitter and Instagram. Take all of those and put in there. This is going to circle back around later. What you're going to see is a lot of what I'm going to say comes back around over and over again. And this is one of them. This is going to relate to something I'm going to say later, which is be visible. You want to be visible on social media. You want to be visible when somebody is looking for you in HAR. You want to have those keywords. Fill out your profiles. Your profiles are there to make you searchable, to make people be able to find you. Be sure and go in and put those areas that you work. So if somebody is searching in those areas, there's a chance you're going to pop up. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of other people pop up as well, but there's a chance that you will. Frank's a big fan of having a logo, having a slogan. One of the things that I learned last week, I was making my coaching calls to everyone, and if you got a voicemail from me, then you did not answer your phone, but most people called back. Thank you for doing that. I don't think annoyed's the right word, but I was a little dismayed by how many people don't even have their voicemail set up. I called and it said, you have called 281-659, and I'm like, I don't even know if this is the right person. Give your name, give that you're an EXP agent. I heard a long time ago somebody say, we are not secret agents. There are no 007s in the room. We are not secret agents. Let people know you're a realtor. When they call your phone and get a voicemail, it should sound as though you are grateful that they made the call to your phone number, and even though you're unable to take that call, they at least know who they're talking to. It sounds as though that you're glad to hear from them, and they know for whom they are leaving a message. I think it was Letitia. Is Letitia in the class? You're Letitia. I believe, I don't, y'all might want to blow up her phone at a later date. She has a beautiful voicemail message. I believe it was yours. So I believe it was hers that I was like, now that's a voicemail message. That I knew exactly who I was calling. I knew exactly who she worked with, what her business was. Keep in mind, you are a business. You are presenting yourself as a business owner. If you call, I had this experience just not too long ago. I was calling actually a restaurant and I got a bad number. And I'm like, I just wanted to call and find out if they sell a certain thing because that's what my mama wanted me to bring her home for dinner. And I called and I get sent to this random voicemail that just took me nowhere. And it was so frustrating. That's important. You want to do business with people that present themselves as good businesses. And so does everybody else. Keep in mind, this is a business of details. Details matter, and those little details are certainly important as well. So if you don't have a good voicemail, take a moment, listen to your voicemail. Don't listen to mine because it still says I'm with Abby Realty. I'm right here with you. I've got to do some updating as well. So listen to your voicemail. Ask a friend to call and listen to your voicemail, and maybe get some advice there. So there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is everything you're going to learn today works 100% of the time for somebody. Not everything you're going to learn today is going to work 100% of the time for everybody. It's find what works best for you and do that. And a lot of people say find somebody that's successful at what you do and emulate what they do. There are 1,000 coaches out there. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought y'all had some questions. Okay. There are 1,000 coaches out there. There are a bunch of successful realtors out there. Are we good? Okay. There's a lot of people out there that are very, very successful. I've watched my fair share of YouTube coaches. There's a lot of, like, Ricky Carruth is one of my favorites. Boy, I would love to do what he does. I would love to be able to make those cold calls and sound as natural as he does, and I work at it and I do it. It's still nerve-wracking. I don't really feel like I have an issue communicating with people. I feel like I can pick up the phone or walk up to just about anybody and start talking to them and have a good conversation. But boy, that cold call is nerve-wracking to me. So the good news is everything will work. You just got to find what works for you. All roads lead to lead generation. This may be good news, it may not be good news. Lead generation is sales. If you did not know that you became a realtor and got into the selling business, then maybe you need to rethink being a realtor if that's not comfortable for you. Everybody thinks that you get your license and all of a sudden you know how to sell real estate, and you don't. And that's why Frank has created this team. He's asked for coaches to step up, is because we've all been there, right, Bob? You get your license, they slap you on the back and wish you luck. And I was just as lost as everybody else when you began. But all sources, everything leads to lead generation. That's how you're going to get everything from today forward is lead generation. The one thing I would love for you to take away from today is the word database. Build your database. You meet somebody, exchange cards with them. You meet them in a grocery store, you meet them at Starbucks, wherever you like to hang out. Exchange cards with them. Go home, add them to your database. If you get a lead from the Property Boost, add them to your database. Somebody sends you an email, even if it's unsolicited, add them to your database. They just ask for permission to be added to your database. Add everybody to your database, even if you just have the name and email address, because that person needs to get a weekly newsletter from you. And again, circling back around, we'll talk about that. That'll come up again later. But when you reach somebody, when you talk to somebody, try to get some information, a phone number, and start with your phone. Go through your phone. You'll be shocked at how many people you don't even have an email address for. And then if you do like me, then go through your husband's phone or your wife's phone or your significant other's phone and look and see who they've got in their phone if they'll let you. Look and see who maybe people from their job that they are communicating with that you could add to your database. Third thing, so build your database. Database. That's the word for the day. Number one thing I want you to take away from here: build your database. Learn your CRM. They have made it easy with an agent success plan that you can go onto KV Core, click on it. I am just as ADD as the next person. And sometimes there's so much going on that sitting through a 7 or 8 minute video is painful. I get you. I understand. Frank is doing a wonderful KV Core class that everybody that I talked to last week during the coaching, they said that was in the class when I was trying to reach everybody. Everybody said, boy, that was helpful. That was great. I really enjoyed that class. It was very helpful. So I'm going to be starting to sit in on his KV Core classes because I'm one of those that I learn better in person rather than watching a video. But all else fails, go through that agent success plan, watch those videos, complete the modules, take notes. If you need to, watch it again. It's there. They create those for a reason. Because it works, it helps. You're not alone. You have resources. Use them. Definitely use them. Same thing with the EXP, the 101 through 114 modules that they have. Definitely get in there, use those. If you become a mentor on there, you'll want to go through that class, that little class or certification or whatever they're calling it. Use social media to communicate that you're a realtor. This circles back around again to be visible. If people don't know you're a realtor, and I joke that everybody, we all as realtors, we introduce ourselves as, hi, I'm Leitha, I'm a realtor. That's like the thing that just comes out of your mouth almost. You almost have to do that because not only do they not know you're a realtor, but they will also forget that you're a realtor. If you've been a realtor for any amount of time, you may have had a friend or relative or somebody post on Facebook, and I love it when this happens. We just bought a house. We just listed our house. Just got a house, whatever. And isn't it heartbreaking? And I've actually emailed people in the past or messaged people and said, oh my goodness, I didn't know you were going to sell your house. I wish you would have let me know. I would have loved to have helped you. And almost every single time they've got, I totally forgot that you're a realtor. Or I didn't know that you could sell houses in my area. It's heartbreaking. It's devastating. I almost cry. So the last thing in this area, be a collector of people. This goes back to add people to your database. Database. Anyway, so be a collector of people. Be a collector of those names, addresses, emails, phone numbers. At least the name and email, or at least the name and phone number. And again, you'll see us circling back around to more information about that later. But these are the things, the takeaways that I really would like for you to take in. And please take as many notes as you want. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can write them down, raise your hand, whatever. So how do I find homeowners? This is, you got to find sellers. You got to find sellers. The good news is they're everywhere. If they own a home, they are a potential seller. You can look in HAR, Matrix, and Realist. If you can look on your county tax appraisal. Look in Facebook and Craigslist. You will see people there that are doing for sale by owners or rentals, things like that. Reach out to those people. Say, hey, I saw your rental that you have on Craigslist. Could you tell me more about it? Let them tell you more about it, or better yet, say, could you email me some information? Once they email you, guess what you have now? Email, add them to your database. For sale by owners are often on Craigslist. They often have their phone number on there, and sometimes an email address. So as soon as you reach out to them, and you don't tell them you have a buyer or renter if you really don't. What I like to say is, in case I do, in case I come across somebody that has a buyer or renter, and again, and that will circle back around later as well. Yes?
When we add these random people, what do you suggest we add them as? Because depending on how you add them to your database, sometimes you put them into a campaign that doesn't make any sense for the meeting you just had.
So I went around with KB Core, not the EXP version of KB Core, but when we first signed up for Abby, because I sent in a list for them to upload for me, and immediately all however many thousands of those people started getting text from me saying, happy anniversary on the purchase of your new home last year and stuff like that. And it was a monster getting it off of that little text drip campaign. So all fairness and honesty, I am still learning KB Core. I know the hashtags have everything to do with that. If you send your database in to be uploaded by KB Core, be sure and mention that you do not want them, that you're just wanting the information uploaded. Yes, sir. Oh, perfect.
Before you upload your database or have them do it, go into Smart Campaigns, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of campaigns already built in there. If there's a green button next to them, that means they're automatically turned on. When you upload a database, KV Core makes guesses about who they are. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? And whatever appropriate campaigns are turned on for those groups, they start going out. Almost always, you will not want that to happen. So go into your Smart Campaigns first and turn every one of them off. And that way, no unexpected emails or text messages will go out. You can create your own custom campaigns and then turn them on one at a time for the appropriate individuals.
Thank you. Thank you. One thing that I've learned about real estate, and you will learn about real estate, you will learn something new all the time. It's one of the reasons it excites me, because I do love learning. So yeah, how about that? I've written it down so I can make sure that I do that. But I think just for me, what I'm going to do is when I send my database in to be uploaded, I'm going to just let them know, because I eventually, after about 3 or 4 communications, I finally got somebody that actually knew how to turn that off. But it took me chatting with KV Core, I think 3 times. And everybody kept saying, oh, well, you need to go in and do that yourself. I said, I uploaded like 4,000 people. I asked you to upload that many people. It's going to take me all week to sit there one at a time trying to figure out how to turn that off. So that's great. That's great. Good news. Thank you, Frank. Go into your neighborhood. Frank's a big proponent of being the expert in your neighborhood. Go into your neighborhood. Be sure and post in your neighborhood Facebook groups, or in your Facebook, what is that? Next door. I'm sorry, I don't live in an actual, like, well, actually I do live in a real neighborhood, and there's about 20 houses in it. But I live out, yeah, it's tiny. I saw the look on your face. I live out in the country, and so we don't really do next door out there because it's just not a but if you have next door, you know, go in there and be sure and post, comment. If people are asking anything about advice on selling a home, or boy, if they're asking for a lawn person and you know somebody, or a painter or a roofer, be sure and comment and say, hey, I'm a realtor in the neighborhood and I have a list of people. This is the roofer that's on my preferred list. Just visible, visible, visible. I mean, you just almost have to walk around with a big banner or flag that says, I'm a realtor all the time. Circling back around, be visible. To a lesser extent, sheriff sales and newspapers, if you're wanting to work with foreclosures or pre-foreclosures, that's an avenue. I think it's a difficult avenue because you've got to catch those people at the right time. If somebody is going into foreclosure or they're listed in the newspaper as a sheriff sale, they have until the day of the sale to redeem. In most cases, I should preface that, in most cases, they usually have until the day of the sale. If you work with investors who can put an offer in on the property and get that out of foreclosure for them, I mean, to me, it would be a great thing because at least they get something back and they don't have that on they don't have the foreclosure on their credit report. That's a harder one. I threw it in here. It's not one I recommend, but those are people, they have a problem, they need to sell a house. We're in the business of selling houses. If you go to, oh, never mind. I'm like, why do I have grocery store in here? Like, is anybody else one of those people that you'll be just looking at ketchup or something at Walmart and somebody just randomly stops and starts talking to you? You're the talker. Yeah, I'm the recipient too. I will be standing there. I think I'm looking like I'm minding my own business, and people will randomly come up and just have the weirdest conversations with me. And I'll be sitting there going, is it, you're talking to me? You know, I don't know why, but embrace that. I've learned to embrace it. I was standing at the meat counter, the deli counter at Kroger's, getting some luncheon meat. And a guy walks up to me and starts talking to me. I was actually waiting, this was a couple of years ago before COVID. I was waiting for a little sample of some piece of meat. And the lady comes and she says, she goes to hand me my little 2 slices of meat on my little piece of wax paper. And the guy had been standing there talking to me for, I don't know, 20 seconds. And the lady says, would you like a sample of it as well? And he goes, no, I'm just going to take a little taste of hers. What part of this face says, I would like to share my luncheon meat with you? I mean, it's so embrace that. I have learned to embrace it. I've not liked learning to embrace it, but it's an opportunity. Get that person's name. Say, hey, you know, by the way, I'm a realtor. And I did. I gave him my card. And when his wife walked in, she was very suspicious of the sharing of meat that was going on. It was kind of uncomfortable, but that's okay. I got his information. He is now in my database. Bam. So if you're at your kid's school, be sure and make sure that all of the teachers, the people in the office, if they're involved in sports, make sure everybody on their sports team or whatever they do, make sure they all know you're a realtor. Wear that shirt that says realtor. I know it sounds silly. And I actually walked into an inspection one time and had the inspector go, oh, you've worn my shirt that says I'm an inspector. And I looked at him and I said, well, you should have. You know, I mean, I told him, I said, I'm very proud of what I do. I'm proud to let everybody know what I do. I help people, and I'm extremely proud of that. Community events, everything. Again, carry that banner that says, I'm a realtor. Be visible. Don't hide it. Because if they don't know, yes, sir.
When I started, I had a SUV, and I literally had lettering, my logo put on my vehicle, not automatic, but it was put on the front, each side and the back. And my wife's just like, what are you doing, you know? What about in the evening when we go out? I said, yeah, especially I want everybody to know. I got more comments, compliments. They got more business cards for that. So,
That's what you got.
so you can't, you can't take them off, you know, so.
Yeah. I really want to get,
Speed limit,
yeah, I actually want to get my vehicle wrapped as well. I want to get my vehicle wrapped as well, but my vehicle right now is a 2013 Mazda. So I'm actually probably going to get a new vehicle this year. And once I get it, I'm probably going to invest in getting the wrapping. My hesitation is, I'm a fast driver. I try to be a very respectful driver, but I'm also that fast driver. And I'm that person. Have y'all ever seen that meme of Kermit the Frog going as they pass you because you're doing something? You're either driving in the fast lane slow, or you know that meme. That's me. That's me, because I will drive past you and go, like, what are you doing? So displaying your phone number on the side of your vehicle when you're driving past, people are going, what is wrong with you? You know, that's going to be something I have to work on as well. This is an industry where we have to grow as people. We have to grow as people. I say God's working on me, and he did that by making me a realtor. Yes, ma'am. I love it.
Well, they come in, and when I come in the morning, I say, it's only because I want the world to know that it isn't pretty much what I do, and I have to say it. People are like, one word and that's it. I get so many people want to say, well, I ask you a question. Well, I gotta get your name first, you know, we just kind of go and out. And the thing is that I've been doing this for quite some time. And I run my mouth a lot because I'm a salesperson, okay?
Absolutely.
This shirt draw people into me, especially sellers, when I'm at Home Depot, just kind of picking up a flower for my yard or something. And they say, oh, can I ask you a question? Or when I'm in the grocery store, or I say, hey, do you work with renters and stuff too? It starts a conversation. So I find that this is my uniform, that people realize that this is what I do and what you do.
I love it. Yes.
Another thing that your sister does.
Get lots of great comments from the audience. And our online group is missing all of it. So
Oh, yes.
I'm going to ask that if you have a powerful comment to make, like what we've been hearing, that you get permission and you come up here and you share it with everybody. Is that good?
Yes, yes.
Now, don't trip on the wires.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was just gonna say, Stephanie told me that, because I've gone and sat at a restaurant just to sit there with my computer and do stuff so I don't have to go all the way home or come all the way to the office or whatever. But she said that you just get a little realtor sign that says realtor at work, and you can just sit there while everybody's on their lunch break coming in, and you know, surprisingly, so many people will stop and say, hey, you know, can you give me a call, because I really want to sell my house, you know, or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not a go sit in a cafe kind of person with my computer, but you know, maybe put a thing on the back that says realtor, ask me a question. You know, I mean, first of all, it lets them know you're a realtor. Second of all, it lets them know that you're open to being interrupted. You know, and if you're not wanting to be interrupted, get something put over that, you know, but anything to engage, just engage. That's the whole reason we're here, is to answer questions, help people sell homes, make money. Okay, so this next, we're gonna get more into some of the meat of it. Now, keep in mind, again, a lot of this we're gonna touch on, and we can go deeper into in a later class, because honestly, from here on out, every single slide could be a class of its own. There's so much. And as Frank said in the beginning, me and Frank and Bob are trying to create systems, which are, to me, checklists. I love checklists. I love it when, and Bob and I are very different in styles, and his checklists are going to be color coordinated and organized and alphabetized. And I mean, his are going to be something amazing. And I'm going to do my best to follow his lead, because I really appreciate the way he organizes things. But from now on here, everything could be a class of its own, and probably will be, because there's a lot. There's a lot. Like I said, with selling, a lot of the work is in the beginning. We're buying, most of the work is towards the end. So this is, I want to share this quickly. This is going to be very quickly. This little book here is what started it all for me in Abbey Realty. It's about, I don't know, 10 or 11 pages. And I got an email 3.5 years ago from a guy named Frank Gray inviting me to a class. And I did weird things, and anytime I do weird things, I have to wonder why. You know, am I being led in that direction? I clicked on the email, which is unusual for me. Then I read the email and I clicked on the link with it, which is even more unusual for me. And then I did something even weirder. I signed up for the class. So weird. And then like a week later, I'm sitting in the Chamber of Commerce in this little class, and I'm texting my sister, who is Stephanie Garrett. She's a realtor as well. And I'm texting her and I said, dadgummit, I ended up in a recruiting class. I know I did, and I don't like it. Yes. And I said, dadgummit, I'm so angry. I'm going to sit here for an hour. It's an hour of my life I ain't going to get back, but I'm going to do it because I told them I would. And I'm a little too embarrassed to get up and walk out like the guy beside me did. So Frank was introducing everybody, and most of the people there were Abbey agents. At the end of the class, I was very intrigued by this Frank Gray guy. I was intrigued by what he said. He came up and introduced himself to me and said, we're having a meeting on Monday and a class following the meeting. I'd like you to come. And it was all over by then. I came to the class. I invited my sister to come with me. We liked what we heard, and that's what it was. But this book here, this 10 or 11 pages here, is the actual book that I have had for 3.5 years that he handed out on the day of that first meeting. And as y'all can see, I mean, I use it. I use it. I've got my notes in it. One of the things, I'm sorry? Sure, if you don't mind my hand scratch, I'll certainly share copies.
So what Leitha is showing off is the Aspire Business Planning Workshop module. We have rebranded that and updated it, and now we call it 1 year, 6 figures.
It is.
It's the same core concepts. It's a 3-hour CE class, and your timing is perfect because we're offering it tomorrow in this room and online at 1 p.m. So if you've not taken that 3-hour overview, I do highly recommend it. Kevin Miney and Ryan Barker will be teaching it tomorrow afternoon.
It is. So what this is mostly like I'm kind of doing today. It's a little bit of detail and a lot of guidelines of what we learn. And that's how I ended up. So one of the things that he taught, and I have some notes here on, was to lead generate. And this is going to be really for buyers and sellers, but we're focusing more on sellers today. So Frank Gray team, lead generation, 3-step survival guide. I made that up. This is step 1. So as Frank says, you got your hunting, you got your fishing, and you got your farming. And all 3 of those are just awesome. So hunting, you're targeting very specific prey. You're targeting, are you targeting a neighborhood? Are you targeting people that are for sale by owner? Are you targeting expireds and terminated? The investors and landlords, the pre-foreclosure. And you're going to see on here, I have post-flood. if you have a heart for doing investors, you've got investors in your pocket, or you know some investors that you work well with, and you want to do something like that. It may sound morbid, going after people that potentially have lost everything. Keep in mind, there's nothing morbid about it. They bought a home. They had a problem with the home. They now need to sell the home. We sell homes. We help people sell homes. We're not taking advantage of them. We're helping them. We're helping them get out of a bad situation. And sometimes you're going to help somebody really well and get them a great deal out of a bad situation. And some people, they're going to barely squeak by. They may even have to bring money to the closing. Who knows? But we're here to help. We're here to help everybody. If you got a property for sale, we're here to help. So you can also target, obviously, by area, property type, demographics, price range. If you want to just go after the $1 million homes, go after that. You're targeting a very specific, let me spit that out again. You're targeting very specific praise. So this goes back to identifying your lead sources. Where's the one that has the, no. There we go. So this goes back to the, how do I find the homeowners? There's a lot of ways, HAR Matrix and Realist. I highly recommend taking an HAR class on either of those, or just Matrix in general. There are very specific searches you can do. You can search by owner occupied. You can search by owner unoccupied. You can search by neighborhoods, price ranges, counties. You can even search the pre-foreclosures there. It's really, I think we don't use Matrix and Realist the way we should. I would like everybody to take a class in that, because it is it's a tool. Remember, every tool out there is great. It works for somebody. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's another tool that you should try to see if it works for you. The next step 2 in Frank's survival guide is fishing. And this is throwing a big net, reeling in all the flounder and the crabs and the shrimps and the jellyfish, everything, and sorting it out later. So this is a little bit of everything. You can get this stuff through paid leads up front. This is going to be like your RedX, your Zillow, your Trulia, your Realtor.coms. RedX is a big one, because you can buy neighborhoods with RedX. It's kind of pricey to get name, address, email, and phone number. I believe it's about $100 a month. There are coupon codes out there that you can use to sign up to where you don't have to pay, or maybe you get a discount on the sign up fee. But it is a paid, you're paying to get names, phone numbers, email addresses, and addresses. So there's those, and then there's other leads where they actually send you a lead because somebody clicked on the link and entered their information. There's those, you're going to pay for those. Buyer leads are the cheapest, seller leads are more expensive, but they're out there. They're out there. Back-end paid leads. So these are the ones that usually do not cost you anything or much up front. OpCity is the one that I think most people are probably going to be most familiar with. So you sign up with them. There's a bunch of them though. Let me tell you, there's a bunch. I got a text just yesterday, somebody saying, let's set up a meeting so I can talk to you about only paying 20% on closing. If they send you a lead and you close it, then you pay them 20%. There are a ton of those popping up. I think a lot of people are realizing that, a lot of companies are realizing that realtors are a little more willing to pay on the back end when they're getting paid than they're willing to invest that $500 on the front end before they have any money coming in. So the back end leads, the paid upon closing leads, is something that you might want to sign up for. Op City's one of them. Ojo, O-J-O, Ojo, like Spanish for I, but they pronounce it Ojo. Is another one that I'm signed up for, but there are a bunch. If it doesn't cost you to sign up for it, they're going to send you leads, and the only way it's going to cost you is to close a deal when you're going to get paid. Why not sign up for it? At least try it. See what the quality of the leads are. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. Tell them to stop calling you.
You really think it's advantageous for us? The team split, broker split, in my experience, if we're closing it without saying, we got 30%. So if you start adding that up, you have to nothing. And you're doing all the same amount of work.
Yeah, so thank you. So what Leitha's doing is casting a vision for any real estate agent about how to generate seller leads. If you're on the Frank Gray team, put all that on the back burner. I don't want you chasing every possible lead and source of business out there. On our team, we're focusing on the 4 core sources of real estate business. And when it comes to online leads, we're going to provide those to you. So please don't go and sign up for everything under the world. It's going to be a distraction to you. But I'm glad she's teaching it. It's on the record and it's all true. And if you're not on our team, then you should actually be doing this now. Okay?
Sorry, absolutely right. So yeah, right now, if you're on his team, listen to Frank and your coach and focus on the path that they're walking you on. At a later date, if you decide to go out on your own, then that might be something that you can consider. My thinking is a paycheck's better than nothing. A little bit of something's better than a lot of nothing. I have a person, she's not with Abbey Realty, she's with another company that I mentored, and she had come to me because she works for investors. She works for a company that works with investors a lot, and the investors wanted a 1% realtor. They wanted to basically pay somebody 1% on the selling side. Obviously, the buyer side has the 3% to list their homes. And she said, should I do it? And I said, first of all, try it. If it works out for you, great. Second of all, something's better than nothing. And these are people that were they were calling her. Her company was saying, this is our person. When you're ready to sell, you call her. She didn't even have to make a phone call. They were calling her and saying, hey, I need to sell my home. And it has turned out to be a wonderful thing. Yeah, she's only making 1%, but it's a paycheck. It's a paycheck. She's where she may only make maybe $1,500 or $2,000, and she does have a split with her company, but she doesn't spend a lot of time with the listings. Listings are so much easier than buyers, And she's made her model to where, like, if there's any money that she has to spend on it, like if she's going to boost it or do any sort of email flyers or anything like that, or professionally taken photos, that's paid for by the investor. Do we have questions? Questions? Okay, yes.
At the same time, I think if it's going to help you, for example, get experience. In my opinion, I think with those three, you're getting started in the business.
So I signed up for Op City, obviously, when I first joined with Frank, and that's what he offered. I'm now signed up with the Ojo. And a lot of those leads are people that were just curious. But you know what? They're all in my database now. Bam. I mean, database. They're in my database. Even if I released them back because they weren't interested, they couldn't qualify for a loan, they ghosted me and I never heard from them again, they're in my database. And now They're going to get my email. They're going to get my newsletter. And until they unsubscribe from me, they are now a part of my life. And I'm okay. So again, this is being, yes.
I have a question about like the leads that you pay for, right? Individual leads like Zillow and some other places. How effective are they?
So I feel like it's different with everybody. It all depends on how you work the lead. If you get the lead and you just sit there waiting for somebody to call you back, then it's probably not going to work well for you. So it all depends on what you do with the lead. Now I've tried several things in the past. I tried one guy that was, in my opinion, he was quite awesome. He literally sent me over 200 buyer leads in 1 month. And I was like, yeah, this is great. And it was just pennies per lead is what he didn't charge a whole lot for them. But what I learned is most of those people were just curious. What he was doing is he was running these ads on Facebook where it said homes in the Houston area under $250,000. Click here for a list. And people would click. They would actually had to not only click on the link, they had to type in their name, answer a few questions, and put their phone number in there. And people were willing to do that for this list. And I would get it, and then 9 times out of 10, it was like, oh, I was just curious. But you know what? They're in my database now. I've got these people in my database because if they were kind of curious enough to click on a link to find out about homes for sale in the Houston area under 250,000, that means it actually crossed their mind that they might be interested in buying something. They may not buy today, they may not even buy next year, but they're in my database, they'll get my newsletter, and I will remain visible in front of them as best as I can with the information that I got. So again, database. So another thing is creating a landing and squeeze page. This is in KV Core. Again, I am right here with y'all. I am still learning KV Core. I should have learned it when we first got it a couple of years ago. I did not. So now I am having to make up for lost time and having to learn it. So that agent success plan, so important, do that. You can create landing pages, you can create squeeze pages, and those are pages where people come for information or enter in what they're looking for to help you connect with them. When they enter your information, I believe, Bob, do you know if you have a landing page or a squeeze page on KV Core on your website and somebody enters their information, are they automatically in your database? They are. Who are you? Mark.
Yes.
You obviously are better educated about KV Core than me. Exactly. Everybody turn around and look at Mark. He's our new best friend. Yeah. Awesome. Are you open to helping people muddle through that if need be? That's awesome. And he's obviously a new father. That's awesome. So one of the things just starting out, and I bet Stephanie's talked about this too, gather business cards. When I first started out, 2015, one of the first things that she told me to do was gather business cards. Have you ever? So we probably shop at different places. I go into places like feed stores and barbecue joints and cafes and stuff like that. I'm out in the country, I told you, where they have big old cork boards or they'll have a rack of business cards. To me, that is those people, the owners of those business cards saying, please add me to your database. Here is my information. That's what that billboard says to me. So if I see a billboard, I have got rubber bands and rubber bands and rubber band bundles of business cards that I have gathered from this different places. And I will take the time to sit down and do an email that says, hey, I was in Rockin' R Barbecue and I saw your business card on the board and I took it and I just wanted to let you know I'm a realtor. You know, I mean, just shoot them a quick email and then add them to your database. Oh yeah, that's what they're intended for. Yeah. I mean, most of the time people have 2 or 3 in one thumbtack. Y'all know how that works, right? Or they'll have like one of those little plastic card holders with a bunch of cards in it. Girl, if it's got a name, phone number, or email on it, I am all over it. I am all over it. I mean, look at that. Like I said, be a collector of people. Collect as many people as you want. If they don't want to be on your list, they will unsubscribe. And I hate it that when they unsubscribe, KB Cord sends you an email going, Mrs. Smith has unsubscribed. I don't care. I even chatted with KB Cord one time and I said, can you turn that off? I don't need to know. I mean, unless it's a personal friend of yours and it hurts your little heart that they have unsubscribed, you know, I really don't care because I'm collecting everybody. Another way to fish is this is kind of expensive, is by getting a third-party website and paying somebody to do the search engine optimization and pay per clicks. It's expensive. I don't recommend it for beginning agents, maybe something down the road. It was on a list somewhere in all of this, and so I put it on here. Also, relocation companies. If you're in an area, especially like the Woodlands or Energy Corridor, places like that, where they bring in a lot of relocations, they're paying they're bringing people in and they're working that person through their relocation. Most relocation companies you have to sign up for, get registered. They may have you take this little test to understand, you know, their perspective and what you owe them if you close. But that's another source for potential leads. I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of relocations. I've done them in the past. One I can think of that came to mind was a Walmart manager that was coming to the area, and Walmart, they want it like 35%. I mean, it's a yeah, I saw those eyebrows go up. Yeah. So that's step 2. Step 3 is the farming. Farming can be expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. Posting on social media is a form of farming. Ooh, my mouth is dry today. Let me take a little sip of water. Pardon me, so sorry. It's planting those little seeds in people's minds. Staying visible, circling back to that word visible again. Staying visible, reminding people that you're a realtor. I often post things on my Facebook about my day. Like this morning, I was going to post and I didn't. Okay, so I was going to post a picture of the train that I was stuck at by the train track this morning. And what I did is I sent it to my sister and I said, I've started my day with a bang. Oh, I mean a train. And it's a picture of the train going by, and she thought it was funny, so I thought I'm gonna share it on my Facebook because if I can make my sister laugh, I probably make a few other people laugh. When I post something like that, I put a hashtag, just my little hashtag my realtor life. I also do a hashtag list it with Leitha. I like that one. I do little bitty hashtags just because those little words, psychologically, they may not even really read that, but usually hashtags, I don't know if you've ever heard that hashtags, people will actually spend time trying to read and understand. Have you ever done it? You're sitting there trying to break down the hashtag to figure out what it says. So posting on social media, a form of farming. And again, this is plant them seeds, feed, water, pray, and watch them grow. So the growing is when they reach out to you and they turn into fruit. The weekly email newsletter, this goes back to database, and I am a big proponent of the weekly email. Let me see what time it's getting to be. Oh, it's not popping up. The Ricky Caruth, he's the agent. Yes, he's awesome. It's a little after 11. Do y'all want to take a quick break? Want to do that? Like 5 minutes? Okay, we will get back to farming. Let's take 5 minutes, and because I know some people have been sitting here since 9. So let's take a few minutes and break, and everybody online, take a few minutes and break.
You, whenever I first met you, like every time I said hi to you or I thought you were saying hi, and you were like, she likes me very much, and I told Sophie, I don't know how to your sister. She's gonna like this and then or not. And she said, sure. And I was like, so I switched over. And every time I talk to you, she's like, oh, chatty. And so like, I think you just seem like such a sweet person. And, you know, I hate that I made that quick judgment call just by it. Because, I mean, maybe you were busy, or maybe I was just like, I don't know, you know, because I expected that you were probably. And of course, you know, Stephanie's been my person. I've been a little bit high maintenance. I'm sure she could do that. But, you know, but I just, anyway, I mean, because you didn't even know that I kind of misjudged your personality. I just wanted to apologize for that in advance. I mean, but because I did that. And but I really would love to know you a little bit better, because I just think that you're kind of like me. So anyway,
I'm a big goober. I admit I'm a big goober.
You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to tell you that. And
well, thank you for sharing. And so this actually helps me as well, because one of the things we're actually going to talk about is I am a big student of communication and body language and things like that. And I am still learning. And this little conversations, like somebody's first impression of me, is valuable to me, because it says to me, and I try not to be that way. And I do know that there are times when I'm in my own head if I'm thinking of things. And I'm like, boy, I am just goal oriented and I am heading towards that. And if somebody tries to distract me, I might, hi, nice to meet you. I did this. I'll tell you what I did when this is not too long ago. We were at that church, at the church, and some guy, as I walked by, he said, hi, Stephanie, and I went, not Stephanie, Leitha. And I just kept walking. And now, in retrospect,
look, I think everybody's listening to us. Hi.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't have anything to hide. In retrospect, I thought I should have really stopped and properly introduced myself, but I did not. I did this, Leitha, not Stephanie, and just kept on walking. But I mean, it's little things like that, and we're going to talk about conversations and relations and stuff like that.
There are certain personalities that help to certain things, and I think there's other personalities that help deal with other things. So I would hate for us to shut each other out just because of and it, because of the fact, like I said, I think there's a lot of stuff. So I just think that you would be really great too. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that.
Golly, I appreciate that feedback more than you know. And Frank, I mean, Bob he's got some stories. I could sit and talk to him and listen to his stories like all day long. He's got some great stories. Very true. Very true.
You know, I just want to be recorded saying that, you know, because I like to talk to you, and that could be very true.
Right.
Like if somebody who's talking, they get to somebody else who's talking, That's an hour off my.
Absolutely. And you are going right to a portion, the end of my presentation, because I am, like I said, I'm a student of communication. I'm a student of body language. I'm a student of human behavior. And I know this much compared to what everybody else knows. But what I do know is, because we're in sales, we need all the help we can get. We need all the advantages that we can get.
Well, I think that certain personalities, you know, somebody who is very direct and sure, like, okay, will help a person to talk.
Absolutely.
You know, but, you know, it can, like, if we have similar personalities, it may be not beneficial. Anyway, I just am looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better, especially if we're going to be on the same team. And you know, I think that both of you guys, I need all the help I can get anyway, but.
Trust me, you're in great hands with Bob. He
Oh,
is,
I
I
know.
hold him in extreme high regard.
Yeah, I've enjoyed working with him already, just because I'm working on a contract right now where there's so much stuff I have to do, like with programs that I didn't know anything about, and I'm just like, I'm trying to focus on this.
Do a class
To
on
connect with Sky Slope,
no, well,
because we need
just,
Sky Slope,
oh yeah,
and so we're gonna have to be able to connect them. And I've already done a little bit of training on that, because
Yeah.
I am not gonna do this. But all the little, oh, you have to do this, and you gotta do this, and you gotta go on.
I don't like that I have to download things to my
Exactly.
computer and then upload them again. And there's got to be a way around
There
that.
is. I've already,
And-
I've learned several things. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So
maybe
I'm
we
gonna
can get
take-
together on that.
I'm going to take the, are y'all enjoying this so far? Is it
Yeah.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to bore everybody. I want it to
Uh-uh.
be fun, but good information as
No, I
well.
know. I would love to get with you and Stephanie sweet lunch.
Yeah. Okay, y'all ready? I don't know if it's been 5 minutes. So we're gonna get started again. Everybody online, if y'all are ready. Y'all can't give me a thumbs up. Everybody's camera's muted. How do I get rid of that? How do I get rid of this? Do you may know? Get out of that. Oh, I see the arrows right here. Oh no, that's not it. Let's say who's talking. Oh, nope, that didn't do it either. No. Nope. Nope, I don't even know how. Oh, maybe that? Dadgummit. I don't know. That's driving me crazy. Oh, I see an X. Nope, that didn't do it either. Okay, all right. So we're gonna do step 3 is the farming. And like I said, that is planting the seeds, feeding the seeds, watering the seeds, praying over the seeds if that's your thing, and watching them grow. So again, it's all about staying visible, posting on social media, sending that weekly email. KV Core, you can send out a weekly email. My big suggestion is put that hashtag. If you, that whatever hashtag you use for your newsletter, I put hashtag newsletter. on every single person. Every person in my database has the hashtag newsletter, because when I send out a newsletter, I want it to go to everybody. And it's good. So if you're sending out something else and you want it to go to everybody, you've got, your newsletter also goes to everybody. But put that hashtag in there on every single contact, so your email newsletter goes out to everybody. It is the most effective way. If there's two things that I want you to take away from here today, it's database and weekly newsletter. So they have a way you can create a weekly newsletter. I will tell you, I have been aggravated as all get out, because I have created the newsletter in the editor and sent it, and then realized what I should have done is created it in the templates and then made my modifications there to send. You have to do it in the templates, save it as a newsletter template, and then edit it there to send out weekly. Pick a day of the week, spend a few minutes. Once you get it set up, it's going to be much easier. The first time you do it, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be just wishing you hadn't even started. But to get an email every week, and if you don't want to do it every week, if you think that's too much, do it every other week or at least once a month. But do that newsletter, because it's and I would use the same subject line every single time. It would call it real estate news, or I saw somebody, they sent one that said news you can use or something like that. But make it to where, yes, sir.
Every piece of advertisement for approval. Is that true, or they were talking about videos, Facebook, newsletters? Is that true, or can we just create our stuff and put it out?
So there are guidelines on EXP for everything. I wish I could tell you exactly where to go for that, but if you go in, there is a PDF of guidelines. If that's one of the things that's listed, most of the guidelines are about the branding, making sure you use the appropriate logo and your name and the different sizes and everything. But if you need to submit it, that's a very good question. And another question would be, do you have to submit it every single week, or can you submit a template?
In order to put it out, and you also said something about videos that you post on your social media and stuff. So, is that something that you have to do, or with the newsletter itself?
Good question. We will find out. I would be shocked if you do, because can you imagine EXP having to manage and approve and review every single newsletter that every single agent wanted to send out? That would shock me. But yeah, exactly. But I mean, if it is something that we need to do, we need to figure out how often we need to do it. Do we need to do it every time, or can we do a template? With the template, it seems like you ought to be able to submit just a template, because all you're doing is filling in the information between the header and the footer, you know. Yeah, so I will look at the guidelines, and I will, if it's still confusing after reading the guidelines, I'll ask some questions and we'll find out. So the question was, if somebody didn't hear online, do we have to submit our newsletters and videos and things like that to EXP for approval before we're able to send them out? And that I do not know. I've got made a note, and we're going to find that out. So in the same vein of staying, but thank you for that question. That was a really good, yes, sir. They are in KB. Actually, so I believe they have a newsletter template there, but they also, you can create your own. So if you go on the Canva and you create a beautiful header that you want, and then you've got the footer, and then you're putting in information, you're putting a fudge recipe in a neighborhood market report or whatever you're putting in the body, you can save that template. So all you got to do is go in there and plug in the information that you want to change week by week or month by month or whatever. If you don't want to use KV Core, there is Constant Contact is one that I've heard good things about. That's real good for, but you have to pay for that one. It's like $30. My thing is, starting out especially, use as many free resources as you can. And only pay for something if nothing else absolutely will not work. I am cheap, y'all. I am so cheap. If it's free, it's my favorite word. No, I am beyond frugal. I am cheap. I am just downright cheap. I do not like spending my money. I don't like spending my clients' money. I'm cheap. I'm a hoarder of money, I guess. So, text calls and e-cards. I downloaded the coolest little thing. Write this down. Card Snacks with an S. Snacks. S-N-A-C-K-S. It is an app on your app store. Card Snacks. Snacks, like a bag of chips is going to be my snacks today. Yeah. Card Snacks is an app that I stumbled across. Can't even remember how I found it. But literally, I'm gonna step away from the computer to grab my phone, and I'm coming back so y'all can hear me. Yes, so this app is so cool. It has cards for every occasion. And I'm a big proponent. I don't do a lot of calls unless it's like somebody's birthday. Anastasia, did you need me? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No, you're good. This is Anastasia. She's our amazing. Well, she's like the person that fields all our emails when they come in. And whew, I know she's probably tired of hearing from me at times, but she's awesome. But anyway, so the business one is the paid one. And with that one, you can add like music and other things. And it's either $19 period, or it may be $19 a year. I'm not sure, but I subscribed to the paid one. I paid my little 20 bucks, and it is so awesome. If somebody's having a birthday or an anniversary or anything like that, you can go in there, you pick a card, you plug in your message. If you've got a picture of them, I go to their Facebook page and I steal a picture out of their Facebook page, and like for birthday, I'll take a picture of them from Facebook, put it in there, and then hand draw like a little birthday hat on top of it. And I'll write a message that says happy birthday from Leitha. And if it's a personal friend, you can just sign it your name. If it's a client, your realtor, Leitha, however. Yes, ma'am. Card Snacks. Yes. And so I'm a big proponent. I don't do a lot of phone calls, personal phone calls, which I probably should, especially for birthdays and stuff. But I love to send texts. I will send a random text saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. Hope all is well in your world. And you would be shocked at how much people appreciate that. The Card Snacks. If I'm cheap. I buy my cards at the Dollar Tree where they're 2 for $1 because I'm cheap. But when I buy that card, I can go and spend $30 on birthday cards. Come home, now I've got to write the card. I've got to put the card in an envelope. I got to seal the envelope. I got to write an address on it. I got to put a stamp on it, and then I got to get it to the post office. This, like in a minute, I can send a birthday card. You can send it to either a phone number or an email. And I get such positive response because, people almost always answer back. That is so sweet of you. And I'll just do thanking of you. They've got some for real estate. They've got everything. So calls, texts, and e-cards are a great way. Now, Stephanie does something called send out cards that she has taken that to a whole nother level. She will go to somebody's Facebook page and snatch a picture off of there that may be special to somebody, maybe a child's graduation or a baseball game or whatever. And she will do a send out card, and I think it costs about 75 cents. They print the card, they mail it and everything. And that's another way. But again, it's a little more expensive. You're paying like 75 cents per card. This is a subscription, $20, I think it's a year. And you can send out as many cards as you want. You can attach music to it. You can add pictures, whatever. But just that staying engaged, just that little reminder, I'm still here, I'm thinking of you, and now you're thinking of me because I sent you a text or I sent you a birthday card or whatever. Directories. Get in directories. If your child's school has a directory, if they play baseball and there's a directory, get in there. Your HOA a lot of times has a directory. Any kind of organization, your church. Does your church have a directory? And here's the thing, if they don't have a directory of business owners or people in the church that do business, that have businesses, offer to create one. Just take it upon yourself. Go into your next door, go into your neighborhood Facebook group or whatever, and say, hey, you know what? I'm a realtor. I'd love to have a directory of all the people in my area that have a business, have a business that I can use, because I'd prefer to use local than go elsewhere. Send me your name and phone number and email and a little bit of information about what you do. And so I'm making this directory. You know what? You just got a name, phone number, and email address. What does that mean? Thank you. Thank you. Somebody was listening. Database. You just added people to your database. Plus, when that directory goes out, guess whose picture and information is going to be on the very front page? Yes. Provided by Leitha Ingram, local realtor in Tarkington Prairie, you know, and then you put everybody's information in there. If you want to get fancy, you can put a little business card or picture or whatever. That wouldn't be a bad thing either. Say, hey, send me your business card. Text me a picture of your business card. Create the directory. If it takes you a day to do that, and now you have something, a marketing piece that you can hand out in your community, would it be worth it? A marketing piece that you can walk around and hand out or hang on doorknobs, would it be worth it? I mean, if just one person calls you off of that, that pays for itself and a day's worth of work. So, and then networking, network. Again, be a collector of people. Collect people. We love people. We love helping people. Be a collector of people. To me, there's almost no such thing as bad networking. Some networking groups, if you're going and you're seeing the exact same people over and over again, and there's nobody new and there's no new information, you know, you might want to rethink what the networking group you're in. But if you're able to meet new people, or they offer classes, that we're going to circle back around to the classes later, because I'm also a collector of knowledge, and you'll see that in a minute. But networking, there's just no such bad. And networking right now, we're networking. This is networking. I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me. I may be happier about that than you are. I don't know. But everything is networking. When you grocery shop, when that random stranger comes up and asks to eat meat out of your hand, that's networking. You know, everything is networking, and it's all good. And like I said, a lot of this stuff we can circle back around and have a bigger class on. Some of it's, you know, easier to go into, and I need to actually speed up here, I think. And so we had the Frank's step 1, 2, and 3 survival guide. And so the epilogue is by Leitha. That's me, in case y'all forgot my name. Epilogue by Leitha, and I named it Build a House, because it's not lead generation. It's building a house for your business to live in, for your leads to live in. When you build a house, you're going to use good materials. You're going to use good plans, good workers. You're going to prepare the land. You're going to build a good foundation, and then you're going to put a good roof on it and weatherproof it. And I can send these slides out if that's helpful. If everybody would like the slides, I can send these out as well. You're building a house. of what you want your people, the people that your potential clients, potential sellers in this case, but all clients, you're building a house that you want everybody comfortable in. And to me, being prepared, go to your appointments prepared. And this is one of the things that we're definitely going to have a list on, a checklist. So when you get ready to go on a listing appointment, check, I got my computer, check, I got my listening presentation, check, I got my business cards, check, I've got my little laser measurer, you know, check, I've got all the little tools that I need to prepare for this. And then a list of the things you need to talk about when you get there. There's going to be systems that we're putting in place, checklists, love checklists. First and foremost, never forget, we are fiduciaries. I take that so seriously. As a matter of fact, I get chills even thinking about it. Do you know how many jobs out there are not fiduciaries? They are not obligated by a code of ethics to do what's right for their clients. Investment firms. There are a lot of investment firms where their people are fiduciaries. And then there's investment firms where they're not fiduciary. They can literally do what's in their best interest. They can make trades with your money that benefits them in commissions more than it benefits you. Being a fiduciary is so important, and to me, that is being honest. I always say delicate but honest, because I have I do extreme honesty sometimes, and that's when I forget that I need a filter. So you want to always be honest. Learn to be delicate with your honesty, and that's a whole nother, that's for later too. Be respectful, match energy and emotions, be empathetic and aware, and show off but don't show out. So I broke these down a little bit more, and we're getting close to the end. Don't lose me now. So mind your P's and other P's. Checklists for our friends. So this is the planning part. So we're just going down this list. We're just going down this list now. Each one's going to be a little slide. So this is the proper planning prevents poor performance. Checklists for our friends. You know, when you go to an appointment, you're going to have your CMA, you're going to have your marketing plan, a sample marketing plan of maybe a listing you've done in the past, what you did for them, the websites that you promote on, things like that. Discussing the safety and pets with them, discussing a timeline, price, give them a list of homework to do, whether it's caulking all the windows or cleaning up and preparing their home for staging. Give them their little list of homeworks, find out if they're buying, scheduling photos, and placing your sign and lot box. All these things are going to be in a list of a checklist. So when you go onto a listing appointment, all of these things are going to be laid out for you. There are classes where you can find out how to do a CMA. We do CMAs right there on HAR. They're pretty easy to do. If it's a home in a neighborhood, it's even easier to find comps. I love that. Marketing plans. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Breakthrough Broker. It's Bob? I know Bob is. You are. So Breakthrough Broker, don't you have to be invited by a title company or something to get that? So I think Breakthrough Broker. So let me talk to a couple of title companies that I know. The one that signed me up for it. The one that signed me up, I think, was First American. But if we can get you on the Breakthrough Broker, they send out marketing materials all the time. That's so easy to go in there, edit, print, you're done. It's great. So just preparing, and again, we're creating on the buyer side and the seller side checklist, and this is going to be one of them. The be honest but delicate. I wish I knew everything, because I love knowing I can't stand not knowing something about something. But when you're on a listing appointment or with a buyer or whatever, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Be honest. I mean, how many times have y'all been face to face with somebody? You've asked a question and they've answered and you know they don't have a clue what they just said. You see their nonsense every single time and they see yours. So my thing is, be honest. Just say, you know what? I always preface it with, that is a great question. I did that. I did that to you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I do that now naturally. I will say, that's a great, when I don't know something, that's a great question. Let me find out. So, but don't worry about it. This is a learning industry. And I will tell people, boy, you know what? You know what's interesting? I don't know the answer to that, but I learn something new all the time doing this. Every day I learn something new. I don't know the answer to that question, but I will find out. Every situation is different, which is why I have the snowflake picture. Every snowflake's different. Every transaction is a little bit different. Even when we create our checklist, Bob, are we going to have other situations that pop up that are not on our checklist? Oh, okay. Okay, Bob's checklist won't, mine will. Mine will. So that's another thing. It's great that you have somebody that you can call, you can text, you can ask questions. Every situation's different, and feel free to tell your client that, you know what, every situation's different. This is a situation I haven't had to deal with yet, and I look forward to figuring it out. I look forward to learning how we handle this. Again, I love to learn, so that's good. So if you need to get your coach or mentor or broker involved, feel free to explain to them. People are so understanding. People are more understanding than we give them credit for. Explain why you need to get them involved, how you're going to get them involved. It should not be embarrassing, you know. I mean, we all sometimes need a little help. So just be honest with them. Just be upfront, delicate, you know. And this even goes to all aspects. It's not just the communication part, it's everything. You go into somebody's house. I know I went into somebody's house one time and it was a hot mess. I mean, you couldn't even see the countertops. And so you focus on the good things. Well, look at this layout. Isn't that, you know, you bring out your inner Southern belle. Well, look at here. Isn't this layout just the prettiest thing you ever saw? You don't talk about the grilled cheese in the pan on the stove. You know, you don't do that. So it's, you just got to find that little bit of delicate mixed with honesty and learning how to put it in words that makes it palatable. And again, all of these little things are probably going to end up being a whole nother class. So communication, lack of communication is the biggest complaint about realtors. People want to hear from you. A lot of times people think that, I know I did in the beginning, that the best thing I could do is not drive my buyer or seller crazy with information. And I honestly don't remember where I heard this, but I heard somebody say it one time, and I just grabbed a hold of it and ran with it, is pick a day, pick one day a week. When you're talking to your buyers or sellers, tell them, especially once you're under contract, this is really important. Tell them, I'm going to text you every Tuesday. Tuesday's my day. I'm going to text you every Tuesday with an update. It may be an update saying we are still in the hurry up and wait phase, because y'all know that first 10 days is kind of active. And then that day 10 through about 25, we're just kind of sitting around, you know, waiting for the lender to do their job, the title company to order the survey, the lender to get the appraisal in. We're just in a hurry up and wait pattern. So if it's your seller, text them and say, hey, just letting you know, we're still waiting for the lender to get the approval, where they've ordered the appraisal or they haven't ordered the appraisal yet. I'm going to give them a call and follow up on that. The title company's placing the order for the survey. You know, just give them information. One of the things, I think it's in the next slide, that is a fact is people think realtors are overpaid. And I think that goes back to, we don't communicate to them what we're actually going through on the backside. We're over here in our own little world, and we're not explaining to them every step of the way. Trust me, you explain to them every step of the way, and they're going to see where you've earned your money. They're going to see where you've earned your money. This is another one that's really big on me. Answer your dang phones. If the phone rings and you can answer it, answer your phone. It is how perception is everybody's reality. If my perception is I can never get you to answer your phone, then you know what my reality is? I can never get you to answer your phone. When I call, you never answer your phone. It may only happen once or twice, but in my mind, my perception is you never answer your phone, and that will become my reality. And then when somebody asks me for a realtor, I can say, well, you can call Anna, but she never answers her phone. She didn't answer it twice. And in my mind, it never happens, you know. So answer your phone. If you can't answer your phone, text them back real quick. It's just, it literally takes seconds, and just let them know, I'll call you later, and then do it. Don't forget to, don't forget to do it. But answer your dang phone. If you take 3 things away today, number 1 being database, but answer your phone. If you can't answer your phone, text them. Communication. Communicate. If it's too much, trust me, they'll let you know. And then reply as soon as possible to texts and emails and stuff like that. That's something I need to work on, especially with emails, because I don't get notifications on emails, because if I did, my phone would just be dinging all day long because I get so much junk in my email. And it doesn't matter how much I unsubscribe, I still get a lot of junk. But when go through, look at every single email and see if it's important. I can't tell you, actually probably could tell you about half a dozen times in the last 6 years, I've missed an email where the realtor might have sent an offer on a listing, and I overlooked it because it didn't say offer in the subject line or whatever. And I've actually missed it because they didn't text me and say, hey, I just sent you an offer. So if somebody sends you an offer, or if you're sending an offer for somebody, text them and say, hey, I just sent you an email, because not everybody gets email notifications. But respond as soon as possible. Somebody texts you, respond as soon as possible. Again, that's all about how you run your business. If that's how you run your business, people are going to want people who are prompt and that details. It is a detail business. Ask, does that make sense? That's one of my very favorite questions. It doesn't matter if I'm explaining a contract or we're negotiating or we're trying to decide what our next step is. At the end of every single statement, I will ask, does that make sense? And it gives them permission to ask questions if they need to. If they don't have that permission, a lot of times, if they're not kind of, if you've not made a request for questions, then a lot of times people will shut down and they'll have questions, but they're almost like they're afraid of looking stupid, and there's no such thing as stupid. There's good question. Every question is a good question, even if you're having to repeat yourself. But I love wrapping up anything with, does that make sense? Because not only does it confirms to me that they're getting it or not, and then it invites them to ask questions. And again, communication, my goodness. So RESPC, I know what it means to me, RESPC. So I have an hourglass here, because for respect, one of the biggest indicators of being respectful to me is being on time. My goodness, if you can't be on time, what's the likelihood that I can count on a realtor to get my documents in on time and watch the timeline and the dates for my loan approval to expire and all that? Be prompt. If you can't be on time, be early. That's how I feel. I feel like if I'm not 10 minutes early, I'm 10 minutes late. If you can't be on time, and life happens, and I get that, Text them, just a simple text or phone call. Hey, I'm running a little late. You will be shocked at how much just that communication, they will look at you differently than if you show up 10 minutes late and they had to sit there for 10 minutes wondering where you are. If they know you're going to be 10 minutes late, they're going to be so much more okay with it. So text, be prompt. If you can't be prompt, text. If you can't be on time, text. MMFA, who knows what that is? So y'all may have heard of MMFI, make me feel appreciated. I mean, important. MMFA is my thing, make me feel appreciated. This is going to go into an area that I would like to teach my team, and if Bob wants his team to learn it, he can suggest they could sit in too. Communications. I was telling Nancy, who's invisible right now, she has her invisible button pushed. But we were talking and she was telling me something about the first time we met. And I told her, I said, thank you, because all feedback, I am I love knowledge. I love communication. I love body language. I love psychological behavior. And would you agree that it would be an advantage if you were able to learn to read people when you're talking to them, to be able to tell if that person is shutting down, or are they opening up? Have they stopped listening to you, or are they taking in what you said? You know, or have you said something that made them angry? So in that, make me feel appreciated is kind of a primer. You can use it in a lot of situations, but if you use it as a primer, as thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for giving me the, thank you for your time. People are so underappreciated these days. So I always say, take the time, make people feel appreciated. Thank you for returning my call. Thank you for texting me. I start almost every text with good morning or good afternoon with an exclamation mark. And if it's somebody I know their name, I usually say, good morning, Letitia. Is it Letitia? Okay. You know, and I'll include their name so they know that this isn't a mass text. I'm not sending it out to a bunch of people. I might be copying and pasted, but they don't know that because I put their name in it. But it doesn't cost you a thing to be kind. It doesn't cost anything to show a little appreciation. These are people that could potentially pay you a lot of money to do your job. It doesn't cost any time or money to show that you appreciate them. Of course, KISS, everybody knows that one. Keep it simple, Sally. Again, I don't like the word stupid, so I keep it simple, Sally. Remember, they don't know what we know. We throw these little acronyms and everything around, and we forget that these people don't know what an IEBS is. And even if you read the title of the document, they still don't know what it is. So keep it simple. Keep everything simple. And HMU, you might know what that one is. It's not hit me up. Could be, but it's not. Help me understand. I use this one when I see somebody getting frustrated. I use it a lot. Help me understand why this is important to you. Help me understand why you will not take Grandmother Chandelier out before we start the showings, and then you explain ramifications of why that's, why they need to see your point. But help me understand, that's another good phrase that I love to use. Again, all of this goes into communication, and I'd love to do a class on it. Would y'all find that helpful, a class on how to communicate? Because what we're doing, so everybody wants to work with somebody that they can relate to, but everybody's not relatable to everybody. So we have to train ourselves to be a little relatable, to mold ourselves to what they can relate to, what works with them. Because has everybody met a personality that you just thought to yourself, no, that is the last person that I ever want to talk to again. Nancy and I were just talking about that. Keep it simple, Sally, or Sam, or so the real phrase is keep it. Thank you for pointing that. Make me feel appreciated. A lot of people do make me feel important, but if you're dealing with a narcissist, they already think they're important. But if you make a narcissist feel appreciated, you can humble a narcissist with the right words. So those are little things. I mean, is that a class that y'all would be interested in learning to effectively communicate with all personality types? If you want to role play, girl, I am horrible at role playing. If it works for some people, but if you want to role play, I will role play with you. I will role play. So one of the big things, and Nancy and I were just talking about this, and the communication is people don't listen enough. We go in there, we are so excited. We got a listing appointment, yes. And we have all this information, and we want to go in there and we just start talking, and it's like a gunfight. Bam, 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 bam. You know, these people, again, they don't know what we know. And we have to learn control, self-control. You gotta, and I'm the worst at it. Actually, no, Nancy's the worst at it. I'm second worst. I'm sorry, I'm picking on you now. I'm picking on you. But we were just talking about how two people get into a room, and if they have that exuberant personality and they're talkers, that 15-minute listing appointment could last for 15 hours easily. So we've got to learn to listen. And in listening, in my opinion, is listening with more than your ears. It's listening with more than your mind. It's listening to the looks on their face, their body language. What are they doing with their hands? Are they doing this? And if they are, why are they doing it? Or they could be closed off. They could have shut down to everything you said. They could be cold. It could be self-nurturing. It could be a hug, a self-hug. There's a lot of, or this. Sometimes you'll see me do this. It's self-soothing. It's self-comforting. So there's a lot of things, and yes, sir. Damn it. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to fly through the last ones real quick. Matching energy and emotions or not. This could be matching tone, the volume, the cadence, the excitement, the emotions. If it's something very emotional to somebody, they may be selling their childhood home because their mama died. That's emotional. There's a lot of reasons that you want to either match these or not. And that's your only two choices. You can either match them or not. So when you're matching them, it's because that's going in a direction that you want that to go. If they're talking in a tone that's more soothing, match that. If they're getting all the way up here and you're like, whoa, this is a lot, you can actually lead that conversation by lowering your tone and slowing your cadence and controlling your excitement. So that's another thing that I'd like to do, incorporate in the class, is how we can control that conversation. We can lead that conversation with our tone and our excitement. If that person is super talkative, we can figure out a way. There are ways to stop that. There are words you can say. They're respectful. They're polite, but there are ways that you can control that conversation. Being empathetic and being aware. Being aware is as much self-awareness as aware of them. You're going to be aware of where they're coming from, And understanding psychology and body language and the looks on people's faces and how they react to things is a big part of being aware. Next time you go to lunch with somebody, sit across from them and be very in tune with what the things on their face after you say something, or what they're doing with their hand, or how they're sitting, or, you know, are they closed off, how they react to your conversation. You will see things when you start learning this stuff. It is, you start seeing things, you start really seeing things. Watch for anxiety or irritation. If somebody's getting irritated because you just said their house wasn't worth what they thought it was worth, there are ways that we can have that conversation to talk them down off the ledge. There are ways to deal with that, it diffuses. It diffuses. One way that I've used in the past, it was a home that didn't sell, and they called me as the second agent. And when I went in there, I said, I am so sorry that you were led to believe that you can get that for your home, but the market just doesn't support that. And then I found out that it was actually their idea to price it where it was the first time. So there are ways to diffuse that. Be understanding and lead the conversation. And again, keep in mind, they don't know what we know. Keep it simple, educate, communicate. They don't know what we know. This guy, he's throwing money. You can't really, can you see that? He's throwing money. This is actually Nathan Shownuff Carroll, and he's a realtor up in the Northeast, and he's a friend of mine on Facebook. I always say show off, but don't show out. It works for him. He shows out. He will take a picture of himself laying across the hood of a Bentley, you know, and post it on Facebook. He shows out. Show off what you do. Post those listings. Share. I mean, you can go onto HAR and share a listing that's not even yours, and your picture will come up, and it looks like you're the listing agent. Share those listings. When you have a closing, share those pictures of your family's closing. Show off what you do, how hard you work. You don't have to show it out. I included that slide because I like him. He is. Nathan Shownuff. Y'all look him up. He's got some great videos too. Collector of knowledge. Be a collector of knowledge. Never stop learning. Take classes. Get certifications. A lot of people go, oh, I don't need that XYZ behind my name. Well, you know you don't. But you need the information that got you to that XYZ. There's a lot of good knowledge out there. HAR has a lot of classes. They charge for their classes. I think they're what, $25? Is that about right? Yeah, $25 usually. Some of their certifications do cost more. Join networking groups. Get in good with title companies. They always have classes, and a lot of times they're free or cheap. Never stop learning. If it's something that you want to know about, go and learn. Another thing, people think silly, but there's a lot of information on YouTube. You want to know something? You want to know SkySlope? Go to YouTube and Google SkySlope. Go to YouTube and search for SkySlope, or if you want to learn how to make cold calls, you know, go there and do cold calls, real estate coaching, whatever. There's a lot of good information there for free. And there's a lot of bad information too, so you that's one of those things. You take what works for you and you use it, and if it doesn't work for you, you move on. You find something that works. And then thank you very much. I hope y'all found some of the stuff useful. I'm excited to do more classes on some of all of this broken down. I'm real excited about the checklist that we're going to be creating, and I think that I'm a big lover of checklists, so I think that'll be exciting. But thank you for humoring me and sitting here and laughing at my horrible jokes. Thank you for understanding that I'm a big goober and I love to make people laugh. So.
Okay. You had my thanks to theirs. I appreciate that, Leitha, very much. Did everybody sign the order form for your active listing KV4 property boost this week? That's not very many. Is there another list out there in the room? Let's find it. Yes, sir.